Can we talk about this mid credit scene?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Derpy's got a good one with that. He goes, can I describe the? He goes. Somehow, Palpatine returned, and then he goes, somehow Superman returned. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
It
And it
wasn't.
seems, yeah, we
But
got.
what you guys think about that?
I
The,
kill
the
people.
curly Q they had on the Superman. They had the little
They gave
the
him
little
they
curly
gave
Q.
him the girl.
Yeah,
Gave him the little curl, the little right here.
that's iconic.
It is,
It's iconic. He needs it. Yeah.
but they haven't had it since. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I think that they put it in there. Maybe they're going to do something right with Superman. So I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, make him a big blue boy scout.
That's what he is. That's what he needs to be again.
He's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully, Henry Cavill is like, hey, I'm a comic book nerd. Maybe listen to me a little bit.
Because I know what I'm talking about, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what it is. So, mid credit scene. Anyone want to explain what happened? Let's go.
Yeah, I'll go for it. So at the end, he's really not sitting on the throne, but he's in his, just kind of hanging out, chilling there. And this drone comes in. Amanda Waller pops up and tells him like, "Oh, you broke out of our prison, but we're just gonna make sure that
Castle can stand, whatever.
that's gonna be your prison. So do whatever you want there, but you're staying there and don't try getting out." And he's like, "Oh, you don't tell me what to do. I go wherever I want. I'm the Rock. I'm Black Adam." And she goes, "Oh, we have people. Oh, that's what he said." He goes, "There's no one on this world that can stop me." And she's like, "Oh, we got people from other worlds that can." And he's like, I guess that's the Rock part. He goes, "Oh, just bring it." He basically said that. He's like, "Bring them all." I think he said, "Send them all," or something like that. And she goes, "As you wish." And then he blows up the machine, big smoke, and then Henry Cavill in his bright blue, red, curly hair comes out, and he's like, "Oh, no one's made the world this nervous." He goes, "We need to talk," or something along those lines.
Yeah, something like that. Hey, Black Adam, we need to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, one of the better post-credit scenes in a movie in a while.
It was cool. And people are hating on it, but I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
It sucks that it got spoiled by The Rock of all people. I was like, come on, man. But I get why he did it. Because he had to do it to get people to come see the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and I had just kind of heard like a little word of mouth here and there. I had tried my best to avoid the spoilers, but it's kind of hard to avoid things on the internet. Mm-hmm. But I'm just happy to see Henry Cavill back to get a second shot. There's no excuse for Warner Brothers not to have made a handful of Superman sequels at this point in time.
Go down with the ship. They need to treat Superman like Iron Man. Iron Man 2 was terrible. Iron Man 3 was worse. And you know what they did? Nothing. They kept on pulling them out. And they made the Avenger movies, and they just did it. And they just kept on double down again. It's Superman. You're going to win eventually. Stop just being stupid. I don't understand why DC is being so stupid.
Yeah, and people who say that Superman's too OP and doesn't have enough,
he doesn't have
enough villains, and pick up a comic book.
Yeah,
he has plenty.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's other villains beyond just Lex Luthor.
Is there? Is there really?
There's a TikTok that I had somebody had sent me talking about Superman and how in the the Snyder cut of Justice League, once he's there, and how OP and badass he was with Steppenwolf. Like he just throws that axe down and it just hits his shoulder, and he just like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. He just destroys him. And in the guy on TikTok was like, he goes, everyone complains about how OP he is, and you need to like humanize him more to make him relatable. He goes, but sometimes Superman's gotta be Superman and just like be a god. And that was the perfect scene. I was like, there's times where you need him to be a badass, and somebody like him fighting Black Adam will be the perfect time. Yeah, let him be OP. This is the time to let him be a badass OP.
Honestly, The thing I hate most, I tell you, I hate is Batman vs Superman so much
Batman.
because it doesn't make sense because Superman's a god
Exactly.
and Batman's a dude. I always say that he's a dude. It doesn't make any sense. I think the best part, the thing I even liked about the whole Snyderverse was that Superman, as soon as he was there, nothing mattered. Everything is okay because Superman is there, and that's who he should be all the time. When Superman comes into the situation changes. There is no more problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it's going to be amazing to see him against Black Adam.
Yeah.
You know what I do hope that they you know what I do hope that they do with the character of Superman, and really for that matter the character of Clark Kent, because I can confidently say that Zack Snyder's not going to have anything to do with this moving forward.
No.
Stop making Superman Jesus. Stop making it an allegory.
Yeah.
You know, Superman, Clark Kent should really be like a regular, humbled guy who you see at a barbecue and talk stuff like.
Guy has godlike powers. Have you even met a great football player? A great football player is not a humble dude. That's just not what he is.
But Clark Kent is. He just happens to be superpowered, who was raised the right way by a couple of humble farmers.
Yeah.
So run with that. Make him a regular dude next door who just happens to be superpowered. Stop with the Jesus allegories. You know,
I don't know.
Ryan
They do.
Zack Snyder did pretty much.
They'll make him Superman. I mean, make him Jesus, or is it the fact that everyone else looks at him that way?
There were so many.
And Andy,
they literally did like the
point.
crucifixion kind of like in the sky.
Here's
a few times. So
guys, wasn't Jesus humble?
I mean,
just saying. Wasn't he raised right?
I mean,
I'm
yes.
Back out of this conversation.
I don't know. I was like, I don't know what you're getting at. I'm trying to answer.
Andy came with a great. I just thought I saw it because I was looking at the studio. I saw it coming. I was like, wow, that was a great. It slowly goes away.
Yeah, but also like Superman's not dying for your sins. You know, like he's dying to protect you. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not.
Oh man, that's fun.
No, they really need to, because what really disappointed me about Man of Steel is they didn't really go into the characters, and they didn't really give too much screen time to the characters of Jonathan and Martha Kent and how he was traditionally raised in the comics, and even the Christopher Reeve movie, the first. So
careful.
What? You
don't say anything about Christopher Reeve.
What? I was complimenting it.
Here's my.
I thought you were going to be like, oh, you said Martha. Why did you say that name?
I don't know. My problem, I always thought Superman reminds me more like of Thor. Like literally, you're a god. Literally, you're invincible, and because of that, it's hard to make your character anyone care about your character, and that's why you need to do something else to it, to the character. You have to have some other problems, you know, something like people are dying around you, or something that makes you more interesting. Because really, you're invincible, you're unbeatable. When you turn on, you can't be stopped, and I think that's what the problem with Thor 1 and 2 movie was. And that's why Thor 3 was good. Ragnarok was good because it changed it a little bit and made it interesting. Mm-hmm. I don't know if anyone would ever go for Superman being interesting. And maybe he doesn't need to be interesting.
He could be. I mean, but that's why he was always around Lois Lane. It was like that was his crux. It was like, oh,
they just need to do right by the character.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think so. And putting him against other people like Adam is the way to go. I think he has to be against like big kind of baddies. Like here, like Derby was saying, like do the first like 10-20 minutes needs to be like a cartoon Superman from the 50s, which that'd be kind of funny. I could see that, kind of interesting, like him, flying up the side of a building for some reason instead of around it. Superman saying, saving the day from the villain. But being Brainiac or Bizarro. Somebody like Superman needs to have villains at his level. Brainiac is one. Bizarro is obviously one. You know, Bizarro's kind of silly, but also
I'd love to see
cool.
Brainiac.
Brainiac would be super cool. Yeah, you need
I
to
think
have
they need to
established
do.
this.
I think what
Yeah.
DC really needs to do is take all their villains and then make them into better characters. They should do a Dark Side movie. They should do. They said Brainiac. They should do a movie that focuses on all their villains and make them even badder. So now you can really like explain why we need Superman. So at least we have something that they can fight against. Like someone, it makes sense for Superman. My whole thing with the whole Batman versus Superman is that it doesn't make sense. You need to build these guys up to make you understand how bad these guys really are,
Yeah.
and that Superman is actually needed.
And
Yeah.
and really, if it were up to me, I wouldn't have done a Batman versus Superman movie. I would have done, after doing like at least 2 Superman movies and maybe like 1 Batman movie, maybe 2. It should have been World's Finest.
Yeah,
You know,
I like that.
not Batman versus Superman. You know, they should have done World's Finest, because that would have made a little more sense as a prelude to the buildup of the Justice League, to the
Yep.
formation of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And the
But-
death of Superman should not have been done until much, much later.
Yeah,
You know?
Batman vs Superman should have been done later.
Yeah.
Like way later.
They know each other, which makes more sense about why Superman doesn't just kill Batman immediately.
Yeah.
Or why Batman knows all these things
About Superman.
Like,
Yeah.
he just you know, so like when he's-
Especially if they wanted to do a Superman, or not a Superman, but especially if they wanted to do a Batman who's been around the block at this point and has been doing this for 20 years. You know, I really didn't like how, you know, he had been doing this for 20 years, and Lex Luthor was able to play him like a fiddle.
yeah.
You know, it just, you know, they didn't think it through.
Yeah. Well, that's
Should have
kind
had
of
Luther.
what what Andy's saying is Superman's weakness is terrible writing, which is true. They give him super ventricular. Oh my god. Yeah, powers in the comics. I'm like
And
like 40 types of supervision. That's funny. He does. But yeah. It's so are you happy or disappointed or worried about Superman coming back into this whole mix of everything?
I'd like to maintain a sense of optimism, and I'm just really crossing my fingers that they have better writers and a better director on their side that just grasps the character on at least a fundamental level. Because to me, and I know I'm probably spouting blasphemy, Zack Snyder didn't.
I mean I agree. So I mean we might get
I'm not
mail.
with them guys. Not me. I'm not with them.
Yeah.
Keep me out of it.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean Zack Snyder, for what it was worth, was a okay. I don't know how to.
He's great with visuals.
Yes.
You know, he just, you know.
But I mean, for me, I'm still curious. I want to see the actual Snyder cut, because what we got wasn't a Snyder cut. It was Snyder hindsight, you know. So, but that's something we'll never get. We'll never get, because it's just that's not how the world works. So
yeah.
But
you know, I'll give Snyder credit where it's due. He's great visually, and the Snyder cut of Justice League was so ambitious and just leaps and bounds over the theatrical version we did get.
That's to say, it was better than we got.
100%, without a doubt. You know, I mean,
every time you talk about this Zack Snyder, you gotta admit that it's so much better than it was.
It's a huge improvement, and they really should have led with that. You know, the fact that, you know, Warner Brothers got cold feet and they brought in Joss Whedon to doctor the movie. It was a Frankenstein's monster of a movie. It just felt uneven. You could tell the parts that Snyder had something to do with, and you could tell the parts that Whedon had something to do with.
They had a story going this way, and then they went over here. Like, what you doing, guys?
And you know, even if even if I wasn't like a huge fan of what Snyder did with Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, at the very least, you know, there was a lot of tonal consistency, and they should have kept that up with his version of Justice League, just for consistency and tonal reasons, rather than getting cold feet and bringing in Whedon just because all the Avengers movies were awesome. You know, let's have him do it. You know, they ended up shooting themselves in the foot with that. And
yeah, they were in a rush to release it, and they should have waited. You know, But like I said, like the Snyder cut, how is it a cut when you're adding new scenes? You know, when the fans are literally telling you like, "Hey, I want more Cyborg." Okay, cool. I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, but they never finished doing the scenes that he did. Like they didn't finish some of the stuff, so it's not like he just wrote. Some of the stuff could have been in the Snyder cut because
it was finished. You know, I mean, reshoots happen. I get why reshoots happen. It was the movie. It was in editing, and then he dropped out right at the end when it was starting to edit.
I thought he dropped out with the last 2 weeks of filming, so they didn't film some of his stuff.
Yeah, you know, it was. I mean, you know, it was kind of impressive that his fan base like basically nagged their way into letting him get a do over. But
yeah, I mean that's what it is, a do over.
So yeah, honestly, this is what I would do with Warner Brothers, and it starts with the Flash movie, regardless of whose situation. Write the Flash movie to while the current timeline's soft reboot could, but the problem is you got to reboot Flash, which they've been talking about now. They're going to reboot that. So
yeah,
I think that would be the only way.
Yeah,
you know, just do like a Flashpoint movie to essentially reset the timeline.
Yeah, you know, and you can even say the Black Adam movie is in this new timeline. You know, Superman's back; he's got the curl. You know, maybe this is the version of Superman that didn't kill Zod. You know, I mean, you can easily go down something along that route. You know, the same thing with Shazam. You know, Shazam wasn't really put in the Snyderverse really, so you can easily just like, all right, this is a new timeline, new universe, new heroes.
Yeah, because it could lend itself to the greater DC universe, but at the same time, it was kind of in its own corner, in its own universe. Yeah.
It's just canonize Back to the Future. And just say, understand, this is what we did. We got this new timeline here, and this is where we are.
We're in the Black Adam timeline. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you could do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. See, he did all the filming, but usually the reshoots, I get reshoots. It happens. You know, like Wakanda Forever, there's reshoots like a month ago. So you know, and the movie comes out in a few weeks. So yeah, you know, I get reshoots happen. You know, the same. You know why? You know, we didn't have the stupid. You know, mustache issue. You know, that was a reshoot. Yeah, so I get there are reshoots, but also it's different when you do reshoots after you know what people like and don't like. Mm-hmm. That changes so much. You know, that changes so much. So that's my own thing. Although, like I said,
it's still
Snyder cut was 100 times better. 100 times better.
Oh, easily,
without a doubt.
Easily.
Without a doubt.
It was light years ahead of the theatrical cut. Even though
because WB is stupid.
Yeah,
DC people that run DC have been stupid, and you know this whole talk of Universal buying it out. I don't even care. You know what? Honestly, because if they do, maybe they can find someone who could lead it the right way. Because DC still has better characters, and they do good with casting. And if someone can lead it the right way, this thing could be amazing.
Yeah. You know, even though admittedly I don't have the venomous hatred that a lot of people have for the theatrical cut of Justice League. I think it's just okay. But that Snyder cut is just, it surpasses it in every sense of the word. It really does. Yeah. You know, it was just just an improvement in
Can you say that to almost any movie? If somebody decides to go back and redo Iron Man 2 with the blah blah blah, you know, cut of Iron Man 2, that's going to be better than what we got in theaters. You know, same thing with like Iron Man 3. You know, somebody comes and redoes Iron Man 3 after knowing what works and doesn't work. It's going to be better. There's no way it's going to be better. It's like going back in time and changing.
You can't save that.
Get rid of the Christmas shit. You know, put the actual this. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do in like.
I knew the Christmas stuff was going to come just because Shane Black wrote and directed it. You know,
that's right.
all of his stuff. You know, that's it. That's his. You know, that's his filmmaker trademark, which, you know, I'm fine with. It's his thing. You know, I didn't mind the Christmas setting. I think Iron Man 3 just tried to do a little too much, and then the twist with the Mandarin, which admittedly I did laugh at in the theater because I found it that absurd.
Yeah, it was stupid. So you can't save that.
Yeah.
You can't outrank stupidity.
It was hilarious.
Make him the actual Mandarin. Make, you know, what's his name, the actual Mandarin.
Yeah, thankfully they course corrected down the line.
Because you don't want him as the actual Mandarin later in
no. The guy, the actor, you know, the fake actor Trevor, whatever. Like, don't make him a fake actor. Make him the actual Mandarin. That, you know, like, and now you're like, oh, you know, he's letting this guy. There's ways you can make it better. There's people that
you can't make Batman vs Superman better by making it longer. You just can't.
It's not
going. It's just stupid.
There's gonna be a whole hour of them figuring out who Martha is. All right,
Martha. Why'd you say that name? No.
You know, so that's gonna be a whole hour in that cut, in that Snyder cut of Batman vs Superman.
Batman vs Superman was doomed to fail from the beginning. It was just a bad, poorly thought out idea. Warner Brothers wasn't fixated on anything other than catching up to Marvel to get their Justice League movie cranked out even faster. That's all that was.
All right, let's see. Honestly, Warner Brothers, you listen here. You need your film's tone to feel like the Super Friends, but have stories like the animated series of the 90s and 2000s. Right there, you can take those storylines.
Thank you, Derby. Thank you, Derby.
That's probably the best advice.
Hold on.
Thank you, Derby.
Best advice. Yeah.
You know.
I'm not going
to. Yeah, that's like you have Justice League Unlimited, one of the best cartoons ever. You have, you know, Batman animated series,
all the Batman
animated series.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Just copy and paste in live action.
That's all they needed to do. You know, the template was right there.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
I agree.
Okay, let's wrap this all up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we went way off of the.
That's a definite tangent that we're going to go on.
We sure did.
It started off with Superman showing back up, and then we always comes back DC. To But that's part of the whole thing was Superman, Henry Cavill Superman coming back is, you know, got all the Snyder fans all worked up, so they kind of.
Yeah,
I back together. So there you go.
Restore the Snyderverse hashtags there are out there, but I'm sure there's more than enough.
Yeah, I hate that they compare like the restore the Snyderverse to recast T'Challa. Like, they're very different.
Don't go there. Let's just no. Just not.
Yeah, but
here's the last thing. Dark Knight Returns is one of the best comics of all time. Batman vs Superman borrowed like 4 panels.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Zack Snyder does. You know, he did that with 300. He goes, I'm going to steal this panel, copy, paste. I'm going to steal this panel, copy, paste, and then do his own thing.
Yeah, we'll figure out a story after that.
Yeah. That's what his thing is. He's like, here's 4 panels. All right, we need to put the story in between these 4 panels.
How do we get there? I got an idea. Martha.
I bet you he thought he was like the smartest man in the room too. He's like, no one's ever put it together.
As soon as Tank heard that, he was like,
"Holy shit, that is crazy good!
That was gonna be
bonkers."
Yeah. No. Can I be angry in that one though? Because there, I'm happy.
Okay, but we've gone on a little tangent. What did you guys think of the movie? What did you guys think of Black Adam? What do you think about the mid-credit scene with Henry Cavill? Do you think that's going to work? Did this movie save the DCEU, or did it just kind of put a pretty bow on crap? I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Please comment on the video. Let me know what you guys are thinking about it, and we'll look at it and we'll talk about and discuss it another time because I'm sure DC still has to release the Flash. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And tell me what you guys think. And we'll see you guys a little later.